Greetings. Greetings to all. I hope I'm reaching everybody in a great state of mind and everybody's feeling well and doing well. It is Monday, and today is actually 50 days of me sharing stories with you. And so I'm happy every single day, 7 days a week, to share stories with you during the school shutdown. And now in New Jersey, Governor Murphy announced that schools will be closed for the remainder of the year. And I said I would continue to do this story time until schools resume. So I guess I'll be doing story every day. I'm running low of books. So if anybody has books they want to donate to me to read, or books of your own that you would like me to read and share, please feel free to reach out to me to your inbox, because I am running out of stories. So with that said, welcome to another day of Story Time with Dr. Tinsley. Let's begin. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. In the stories that I read every day. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, during this story time, I really like to share multicultural stories, stories that teach us about different cultures, different traditions, different practices. Because as much as I like to share it, I like to learn. It's all a learning experience and a learning process. And the more we're exposed to different types of diversity, the broader we become in our thinking and the more multicultural we become in our understanding. Hi, I'm Carol. So with that said, the story that I'm going to read is a tradition that occurs in many Latino or Hispanic families, and it's about a piñata. And I just want to share a funny story first. So I taught pre-kindergarten and kindergarten public school for many years. And I taught in the first dual language program in the state of New Jersey. And so we had half native English speakers and half native Spanish speakers. And so to honor the tradition, we decided to make a piñata for the birthdays. And we made a Mickey Mouse piñata. And we made it out of paper mache. We took a balloon and we made the ears and we made the big head. And we paper mache'd over the balloons. And it was so strong, no one could break the piñata. We took sticks, we took bats. I had the custodian hitting at it, all the teachers, the aides, the kids. Finally, we engaged the kids in a song, so they were distracted. And I made a tear. I had to take a knife and cut a tear into the piñata and rip part of it. Then when we resumed hitting, candy started falling out. So that's my little making and creating a piñata story. Hi, Charles, and hi, Carol. So our story for today is Hooray, a Pinata by Elisa Kleven. Hooray, a Pinata. Clara's birthday was coming. I'm going to have a cake at my party, she told her friend Samson. Of course you'll have a cake, said Samson. There's always cake at birthday parties. And I'm going to have balloons, Clara said. Everyone has balloons, said Samson. And I'm going to have a piñata too, Clara added proudly. Mama's taking me to pick one out this morning. Want to come? Hooray, a piñata. Samson clapped his hands. I love piñatas. I love piñatas too, said Clara, as her mother led them to the piñata store. I love to fill them with candy. I love to whack them, Samson said, and smack them and crack them, said Clara. And mash and smash and break them, cried Samson. And watch the candy fall, yelled Clara. And eat the candy, shouted Samson. There were so many piñatas to choose from: donkeys and dinosaurs, peacocks and stars, robots and ice cream cones, lions and lambs, all ruffly and fluffy in their bright paper curls. There were even some monster piñatas, Samson made a face at a big jagged one. Get this scary thundercloud monster, Clara. A thundercloud monster. Clara shook her head. I like this little dog. Can I get him, Mama? Oops. Pages are stuck. If that's the one you want, said her mother. He's the one, said Clara. That dog is so small he won't hold much candy, Samson told her. I like him, though, Clara replied. He's a good little dog, the pinata vendor said as he lifted the pinata down. Clara took the dog in her arms. He was light and soft, and he smelled like newspaper. Clara petted the dog's curly fur as she carried him home. I think I'll name him Lucky. He looks like a Lucky, said Samson. He's a good little dog. We could take him to the park for a picnic. Mom wants me home for lunch, replied Samson. And you should save that pinata for your birthday party. You don't want to get it wrecked. It won't get wrecked. Don't worry, Clara assured him. At home, Clara gave Lucky a bowl of crunchy brown cereal because it looked a little bit like dog food. Lucky seemed to enjoy it. When he had eaten, Clara made him a collar and a leash and took him out for a walk. Along the way, they stopped to greet people and other dogs and to smell bushes, flowers, and trees. Then they came home and dug a deep hole in the sand. What are you doing to that poor pinata? Samson called from across the fence. Lucky's digging, Clara told him. He's getting all dirty, Samson replied. He'll shake himself clean. Clara, honey, called her mother. Shake yourself clean and get your sweater. We're going to Grandma's for dinner. See you, Clara, Samson said. Take care of that pinata. I will, Clara promised. She held Lucky tight as the car sped across the city. Lucky sniffed the air with its many smells, salty, oily, bready, sweet. His ears flapped in the wind. Grandma was waiting for them on her porch. Look, I got a dog, Clara ran to show her. What a good little dog, Grandma patted him. So quiet and so clean. I have to keep him clean because he's really a pinata, said Clara. If I bathed him, his fur would fall apart. But you can brush him, Grandma said as they went into the house. And you can keep him warm. She gave Clara a small crocheted blanket. And here's a little spending money just for you. Thanks, Grandma. Clara hugged her. She knew what she would spend the money on, dog biscuits and a ride on the merry-go-round near Grandma's house. After dinner, they walked there together. As her horse galloped around and around, Clara pretended that she and Lucky were flying. They flew in Clara's dream that night. And on her swing the next morning, they ate cheese sandwiches together and listened to stories and bicycled around the block with Samson. Careful with that pinata, Samson yelled as they raced downhill. Don't worry, Samson, he's safe. That afternoon, Clara and Samson made paper hats for everyone who was coming to her party the next day. Clara made a little hat for Lucky. You like that pinata so much, Samson said. It's going to be sad when we stuff him with candy and break him. Clara's eyes filled with tears. I don't want anyone to break him, she said. You mean you won't have a pinata at your party, asked Samson? No candy? Excuse me. We could have candy in bowls, Clara suggested, though she knew it didn't sound like much fun. Samson sighed. You should have a real dog, Clara. Maybe I could get you a puppy for your birthday. I can't have a real dog, Clara said. Dogs and cats make my mother sneeze. They do? That's too bad. I'll have to get you something else then, Samson said. What? Asked Clara. I'm not sure yet. I'll think of something good. Early the next morning, Samson came by with 2 presents. Clara opened the smaller one first. Inside was a rawhide bone. For Lucky. Thanks, Samson. Open the big one, Samson said. Clara tore off the wrapping paper and saw something big and jagged and scary. Hooray, a pinata! Clara clapped her hands. Hooray, a pinata! Samson clapped too. What a pinata, said Clara's mother. Clara hugged the thundercloud. Let's fill it with candy right now. Before you make friends with it too, Samson laughed. Clara's father helped them cut a hole in the pinata and fill it with almond bars and cinnamon swirls, strawberry rolls and taffy, tiny bags of jelly beans and shiny chocolate kisses. Then they taped the hole shut and hung the heavy thundercloud in Clara's tree. The pinata scowled as the guests arrived at the party. It glared as they sang and ate cake. It grinned its toothy monster grin as the children took turns trying to break it open. They whacked it and cracked it and mashed it and bashed it, but still that storm cloud did not open. Until Clara gave it a thundering whack, and candy showered down. The children whooped and hollered, "Hooray, hooray, hooray!" They screamed and ran to grab as much as they could hold. And when they eaten all they could, they played with the pinata. Samson wore the scowly face as a mask. Clara turned the bottom into a hat, and Lucky chased a quick yellow lightning bolt through the grass. And that, my dear friends, is the story of Hooray, a Pinata. Now, in the back, I just want to share. It says, pinatas are gaily decorated containers filled with sweets and sometimes small toys. Pinatas are made to be broken, smashed with a stick by eager participants at birthday parties, Christmas fiestas, and other celebrations. Breaking the pinata is a challenge. The pinata is raised and lowered on a rope while the person trying to hit it is usually blindfolded. When at last the pinata breaks, the goodies spill out and everyone rushes to grab them. The custom of pinata parties began about 500 years ago in Italy. I never knew that. I thought it was a Spaniard custom. The custom of pinata parties began about 500 years ago in Italy, where hosts would fill fragile pineapple-shaped pots called pignati with small treats for their guests. Pinatas soon became popular in Spain, then traveled with the early settlers to Mexico. In Mexico, pinata makers began constructing fanciful animal, bird, and star formations of paper around simple clay pots and decorating those creations with paint, feathers, and colored paper. Although traditional pinatas are still formed around clay vessels, most pinatas today are made of paper mache, newspaper strips bound together with flour paste, and decorated with rows of tissue paper, scallops, streamers, and ruffles. Although pinatas are usually associated with Latin American festivities, they are gaining popularity in other parts of the world. Whimsical, bright, ephemeral as blazing candles and birthday cakes, they add a special liveliness to all kinds of celebration. And that is Hooray, a pinata. So again, it's good. We live and learn. Yes, Aunt Carol, you're absolutely right. We live and learn about different traditions and different cultural practices. And, life is all about learning. It's a learning experience. Every day we have the opportunity to learn. I always say everything living grows. So if you're in a position and you're not growing and developing, think about it. Are you living or are you just coexisting? So even during the coronavirus lockdown, it's such a wonderful opportunity to learn and to grow. If you're home prayerfully, if you're home and able to stay safe at home, your mind may be freer than worrying about where your next meal is coming from or where your sense of security is. But whatever you're doing, take a moment, give thanks for waking up today. And whether you're young or old, we're all blessed to be here. And let's try to use this time productively to learn, to grow, to develop, and to be kind to one another. So with that said, today is day 50 of reading stories with you. I can't believe how quickly time is moving on. It's almost, we're in the second month of this quarantine or this social distancing, but we're still here. We're still managing. So let's continue to do what we're doing and keep on keeping on. And I'll see you tomorrow, same place, same time, 5 p.m. on Facebook Live. Be well. Peace.